All right, let's dive in. We all know that generative AI, tools like Meta's Llama models, are just incredibly powerful. But that power raises a huge question. How do you actually build something so capable while making sure it stays safe? Well, today we're going to peek behind the curtain by digging into Meta's very own guide on how they do it.
And this is really the heart of the matter, isn't it? On one side, you've got this mind-blowing tech that can create, help us out, and totally change the game. But on the other, there's always that risk, the potential for it to be misused or to spit out something harmful. So what's the game plan? How do we get all the good stuff while keeping the bad stuff in check?
And this is where Meta's philosophy really comes into play. Their goal isn't to ship a single, perfectly locked down AI. Nope. Instead, they see it as building an entire system. Llama is like the engine, but they want to give developers the steering wheel, the gas pedal, and the brakes to build safe and customized products with it.
That idea of putting the developer in control leads us straight to the core concept of their whole guide, a layered safety solution. This isn't about finding one magic fix or some silver bullet. It's about building a robust system that has multiple lines of defense, kind of like a castle. And it makes a ton of sense when you think about it, right? Some safety problems are best solved deep inside the model's core, while others really need to be handled at the app level. If you try to fix everything in just one spot, you can actually make the AI less helpful, or in some cases, you might even open up new problems. It really demands a much bigger, more holistic approach.
So check this out. This visual really breaks down that layered idea perfectly. You can see two main battlegrounds for safety. Right there in the middle, you have the model level stuff. That's all the work they do on the AI's core programming. And then, wrapped around it, you have the system-level safeguards, which act like goalies for all the inputs and outputs. So let's start from the inside and work our way out. How do you build a responsible model to begin with? This is all about the data it learns from, the way it's trained, and all the tests it goes through before it ever interacts with a single person.
Okay, so at a really high level, the whole process of getting a model aligned with safety rules breaks down into these three major steps. First, you've got to get your data just right. Then you use that data to train or fine-tune the model. And finally, and this part is crucial, you have to constantly test it, evaluate it, and make it better. Now, right in the middle of that training process, developers smack right into a massive challenge. It's called the alignment versus helpfulness trade-off. Basically, the more you tighten the screws to make a model safe or aligned with your policies, the more you risk making it less helpful. It's a constant, tricky balancing act. And this example just nails it. Say a user asks how a Ponzi scheme works. A super aligned, super safe model might just refuse to answer, period. But that's not super helpful if you're, say, a student or a journalist. On the flip side, the most helpful response would be a really detailed breakdown, but that could be seen as helping someone with a scam. Finding that sweet spot in the middle is the entire game. So how do you actually teach an AI to find that balance? Well, one of the most powerful tools in the box is something called reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF. It's pretty cool. You have actual humans look at a bunch of different AI-generated answers and rank them from best to worst. The model then learns from all those human ratings, getting a better sense of what we find helpful and safe. Okay, so besides teaching the AI what to do, you also have to actively try to break it. And that's where something called red teaming comes in. Think of it like a team of ethical hackers whose whole job is to try and jailbreak the model, to poke and prod it with clever prompts to see if they can trick it into doing something it shouldn't. The whole point of this is to find the weak spots before the bad guys do. It's all about proactive defense. You bring in a diverse group of people, including experts in different fields, to basically stress test the AI safety features from every angle you can possibly imagine. And for red teaming to really work, you need a few key ingredients. You absolutely need diversity, because people from different backgrounds will find different kinds of problems. You need subject matter experts to spot issues in complex topics, and you have to do it all the time. Safety isn't a one-and-done kind of deal. So, you've done everything you can to make the core model as safe as possible. Now it's time for that next layer of protection, the system itself. These are the gatekeepers, the safeguards that stand between the user and the AI. The very first line of defense here is on the input. Think of it like a security guard at the front door. It analyzes what the user is asking before the AI even sees it. If the request is a clear violation, the filter can just block it right there, stopping a problem before it even starts. And then there's another guard,
This one is at the exit. This is the output filter. It checks what the AI has generated before it gets sent back to the user. This works as a final safety net, just in case something problematic managed to slip past the other defenses.
Now, when you're building these filters, you've basically got two tools in your toolbox. The simple one is a block list. You just tell it to block certain bad words. Easy to do, but it can be clumsy and block things by mistake because it doesn't get context. The more advanced tool is a classifier, which is another AI model trained to understand the meaning and nuance of the output. It's way more effective, but also a lot harder to build. Okay, we've talked about the model itself, and we've talked about the system around it. But there's one last absolutely critical layer to making AI responsible. And that layer is you, the user. See, safety isn't something you just finish. It's not a checkbox. The moment an AI goes out into the real world and starts interacting with millions of us, new challenges are going to pop up. It's inevitable. And that's exactly why building a constant feedback loop with users is so important for making the AI better over time. So what does that actually look like? Well, it means being upfront and telling people they're talking to an AI. It means giving them easy ways to report issues, like a simple thumbs up or thumbs down button. It means giving them some control, maybe letting them edit the AI's response. And most importantly, it means actually using all that feedback to make the next version of the model even better. And really, that's the big takeaway here. This technology has so much incredible potential, but unlocking all that good stuff while keeping the risks at bay all comes down to a serious commitment to responsible practices at every single step of the way. So as the people who build this stuff get better and better at creating all these layers of safety, it kind of puts the ball in our court, doesn't it? It leaves us with a question to chew on. What's our role in all of this? How do we use these amazing tools thoughtfully? And how do we help steer this technology in the right direction? Definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks for joining me.